possible. Now, what in the world does that mean? How many triangles are possible? Well, I'm just quickly going to look back at one of the problems that we did earlier. You don't have to write this down, just listen for a minute. We did this problem earlier. We solved it using the law of sines. Everything worked out great. It was perfect. The reason that happened was because back in geometry, this triangle would have been called angle, side, angle. An angle, side, angle is a congruence postulate. That means that it defines a unique triangle. That's why you could use it in your proofs, right? You could use SSS. You could use SAS. All those things that you used in geometry are easy. No problems. The laws are going to work great with those. When I look at problem 2A, I want you to look at the given for a minute. Okay? So the given is A is 20, side B is 31. Actually, I'm going to draw it like this. So 31, and side A is 12. Now that's the setup for problem 2A. Now that is not angle, side, angle. It's not side, angle, side. Oh, wait a minute. It's angle, side, side. Wait a minute. That made a bad word, right? So when you talked about that in geometry, your teacher said, oh, whoa, there's no ASS, right? Can't do it. Now, they weren't exactly right when they said you can't do it. You can't prove with it. But the problem is, this, I'm going to write it backwards so nobody thinks I have a bad word on the board. Angle, side, side is called the ambiguous case. And does anyone know what the word ambiguous means?
Sticks out.
Unclear. Unclear. If I talk to you and it's ambiguous, it means it's not clear to you. It's unclear. It's a little confusing. The ambiguous case, this triangle could, or this information could represent 0, 1, or 2 triangles. So anytime you have angle, side, side, and I'm not going to try to confuse you. It's going to be a separate section of the test, just like it is in your notes. It's going to say how many triangles are possible. Okay, that's your clue. I got the ambiguous case. I have angle, side, side. So here's how we decide if this represents 1 triangle, 2 triangles, or no triangles at all. Here's how we do it. Would you agree that I could set up my law of sines and it would look like this? Could I set up my law of sines and have it look like that? Absolutely. Now, it looks just like the other law of sines, except now the variable's in a different place, right? But that doesn't matter. We're still going to cross multiply. So 12 sine B equals 31 sine 20. Shh, it's hard enough. Please pay attention. Now I'm solving for this. So I'm going to divide both sides by 12. So sine B equals 31 sine 20 over 12. Now wait a second. How do I find an angle on my calculator? What special button do I need to use on my calculator? Second sign. So what we are going to type in on our calculator is this. Because we're looking for an angle, we have to use the second sign button. So we're going to second sign 31 sine 20, close the parentheses, close the parentheses, divided by 12. Anybody get an answer? 62.07. All right. Now hang on, we're going to do some more. Don't worry, but try to stay with me here. Because now I know that there's an answer. So it's either 1 or 2. So now I have to decide if there's another one. If I had typed that in on my calculator and it said error, that would mean there were no answers. That's how you get no answers. You try to type it in and it says error. Okay, that didn't happen. We got an answer. So now what you do is, over to the side somewhere, you redraw the triangle with the given information. All right, there it is. There's the new, I redrew it with the given information. If there is a second answer, this angle, the one you just found, will be, the second answer would be 180 degrees different than this. So if I take 180 minus 6207, I get 117.93. So if there is a second answer, you find it by doing 180 minus the first one. Always 180 minus the first one.
The first what?
The first angle that you found. When you second signed on your calculator, it's going to give you an angle. The other answer will be 180 minus that. Now, that works. It would be an odd-shaped triangle, but this one has 2 answers. Let me show you a case where it wouldn't work. Let's suppose when I found this second answer, this turned out to be 167.93. That's more than 180. So sometimes the second answer is so big that it gives you more than 180 degrees. So that wouldn't work, which would mean you would only have one answer. Okay?
Are you talking about adding the 22?
No.
Just adding the whole triangle.
If you, when you're checking that second answer, yeah, that has to be less than 180.
Yeah, with both of them combined, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened for the first one, but that's just why it says.
The first one's always going to work. Oh, yeah. No, there's a different issue with the first one.
How do you get like the 0 answer?
When you type this in on your calculator and you get an error message,
Okay.
you will second sign and it will give you an error message. And that means that this configuration, whatever it was, doesn't work.
Okay.
Okay? I know this is confusing, guys, but we got lots of examples. We'll get through as much of it as we can. Okay? Let's look at the next one. So problem A had 2 triangles possible. Now we're going to look at problem B. So here we go. Angle A is 76, side A is 18, side B is 20. Please be careful when you are drawing your own triangles that you remember the capital letters are the angles and the small letters are the sides. Okay? We're not solving the triangle. We're just trying to figure out how many answers there are. So we're going to start the same way. Sine 76 over 18 equals sine B over 20. Would everybody agree with that? Law of sines. So now we'll cross multiply. 18 sine B equals 20 sine 76. We're going to divide by 18 because we're trying to solve for the variable. So you now have an equation that says sine B equals 20 sine 76 over 18. Now, how do I type this into my calculator? Because I need to know angle B. Second sign. So second sign this big fraction. Okay? Now, just like before, you need to close this parentheses right here. This one right here around the 76. Make sure you're closing it. So second sign, 20 sine 76 parentheses divided by 18.
Error.
Got an error.
Zero answer.
No solutions. So that triangle has no solutions. You're done. Move on. That one's finished. When it says there are no solutions, that means there are no solutions. And there's no point in moving on. And what that means is that if you actually tried to construct this triangle, it wouldn't work. You couldn't do it. Things don't match up right. All right, let's try one more. All right, so this time A is 85, A is 15, and B is 25. Directions say how many triangles are possible. So what's our setup?
Sine 85 over 15.
Sine 85 over 15 equals sine
B.
B over 25. So 25 sine 85 equals 15 sine B. What am I going to divide by?
15.
15. Because I'm trying to get sine B by itself. I'm solving for sine B, so I need to get it totally by itself. So sine B equals 25 sine 85 over 15. And to get the angle, I got a second sine. 25 sine 85 over 15. Oh, crud. Or I guess good, I don't know. I got another no solution.
Wait, so you second sign for the second triangle?
Your second sign, period. I don't need a second triangle here. I second sign.
But if you were, let's say this didn't work out, you would.
You subtract from 180. We'll have to do another example because this one doesn't have. This one is another no solutions. Whoa, whoa, whoa! We got time to do one more. Yes, we do. I've got my trusty calendar, and the period ends in 4 minutes, so we got plenty of time. All right, so one more. I have a feeling this one's going to have answers, so you better be paying attention. A is 42, A is 22, B is 12. Zero, 1, or 2. Okay, let's do this one. That question's going to come out. We already talked about it, but we'll talk about it here again. What's the setup?
Sine 42.
Sine 42 over 22.
Sine B over 12.
Sine B over 12. So 22 sine B equals 12 sine 42. I need to divide by 22, right? You're getting sine B by itself.
21.
So sine B equals 12 sine 42 over 22. But I need angle B. I don't want sine B. So I have to second sine 12 sine 42 over 22. So I'm going to type that in on my calculator. So second sine 12 sine 42. Uh-oh, I got an answer this time. Okay? Now, pay attention. Write down the steps if you need to. So we went through, this time we got an answer. So what does that mean? That means we either have 1 or 2, right? We got an answer, so it's not 0. Now, as soon as you get an answer, over to the side, you redraw the triangle, given triangle, the given information, the 42, 12, and the 22. And then you fill in this angle right here, but you don't put 21 in there, you put 180 minus 21, which is 158.6 or 59. So the second time you draw the triangle, you do 180 minus the answer that you got on your calculator. And then you stand back and say, would that be possible?
Yeah.
Why is that not possible? They add up to more than 180. So there can't be a second answer because they add up to more than 180. So therefore, there must be only one answer to this problem. Okay? Now, who's got my calculators? Nobody leaves, so I get my calculators back.
Wait, do we have flex or do we
I got one more out there.
Plan B flag. Hey, flag.
Okay, this is Friday.
I got just during C period, so.
I'm going to be sending an email out to all my students about an opportunity. So be checking your email.
Opportunity for what?
Check your email.
Come on now, you don't think that? Bro, you're not serious.
None of them do.
Come on. Bro, they do it all the time. I love it. Really? Man, when you should probably not be an athlete. He said no, please don't.
Hey, don't.
Please don't.
Mom, why are you lying to him?
Oh shit.
Princess, what are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing? I gotta pack my bag, weirdo. What, you excited to go to eat? You excited to go to eat? Huh?
Said, yeah, I got a tap on her about how easy was that quiz?
I mean, it took a little time. There was more questions than I thought, but alright. I'm just not.
You guys can't wait to get in here and learn.
Yes, sir. This is real slow.
It's taking forever.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, big deal, man. I'm just trying to zip my bag, you know. I got tennis shoes in there because it's AD. Trying to be comfortable.
It's lifter of the month, baby.
I know. That wouldn't be me.
Doesn't matter, Mason. Are you having a bad day?
Actually, you found it. I don't think I got an A, but I did better than I did on the last one for sure.
That's not saying a whole lot, but
Well, I turned the last one into blank.
luckily they had a bonus, so we got some points.
You're out, though?
Oh shoot, I think that thing's still running. Excuse me, I need to turn this off. Yep, she's still running.